What is going on, YouTube? So coming back today with my next NBA draft scouting report. So today I will be doing Ivica Zubac, and this will actually be my last NBA draft scouting report. I said I was going to do 30, and this is the 30th one. So getting into some of his background information. So he is a 7'1", 260-pound center out of, I believe, I want to say he's Russian. Bosnian, out of Mostar, Bosnia and Herzegovina. So he does play for Cipona Zagreb, and again, he's a 19-year-old center. So getting into some of his strengths, first one is his size and athleticism. So very mobile, can run the floor, very fluid. Something that's that's kind of hard to find for a guy of his size. At 7'1", especially for 260 pounds, you would expect a little bit of labor and getting up and down the floor. And again, not a great vertical, I believe, looking at around a 31 inch vertical, but also being able to be that fluid and getting up and down the floor and actually having pretty good hands is a big plus for a guy of his size and stature. Again, he's strong as well. Got a pretty wide frame. Again, 260 pounds is very, I wouldn't say an extremely good size, but a good size compared to some of the other 7-footers in this draft. Again, most of the 7-footers in this draft are rather undeveloped, a little bit smaller. Again, talking about guys like, when you look internationally, Dragan Bender, Ante Zizic, Joki, and then even some of the Anthon Maker, and then even some of the guys over in the Americas, Steven Zimmerman, could use a little bit of bulking up as well. So I get into his next strength, which is his biggest one, which is his interior scoring ability. So he's a very, very good back to the basket shooter, shoots at about, I believe, 67% for most of his post-ups, or just for his post-ups in general. He's got a good hook, got a good spin move, can back people down very well, can get good position in the paint. Again, that size and strength helps out a lot, and since he is fluid, he can move around the paint and come out for pick and rolls, set screens, that sort of thing. And that gets into his next strength, which is adaptability. Now, really whatever you need him to do in the paint, he can do. Jesus Christ, that phone rings a million times a day. But anyway, like I said, he can come out, he can set screens, play the pick and roll. He's got an okay mid-range jumper. That's something that he's probably going to have to develop. But whether you want him just as a finisher down low, as a rebounder, or as a guy to just dump the ball to and be a post-up scorer, he can do all of that. He can also run pretty well in transition. Not a great facilitator. Something that I think he could develop. He's good from the line as well. Shoots about 67%. Again, for a guy of his size, and considering the lack of free throw shooting for most post-up scorers nowadays, that's a good percentage to be shooting. And again, he can finish in transition. You can throw lobs, or just given the ball near the basket, he can't finish. So fourth strength is his defensive upside. Again, this is upside. It's not consistency that has been shown yet. He averages close to 15 rebounds per 40 minutes in FIBA play, basically international play, and then also averages about I believe it's around 2.5 or 3 blocks per 40 minutes, and with Cibona Zagreb in 2015-16, he averaged about 4.4 blocks per 40 minutes. So again, a guy that can be a rim protector if that develops. With a 7'4" wingspan, you hope that's something that can develop well. He's not got a great vertical, but when you got that size and strength in the paint, then it's something that you hope comes along. Again, rebounds are something that he should be able to get no problem when it comes to NBA play, whenever he gets drafted. So getting into some of his weaknesses, first one is injury. From what I've seen, that's one of his biggest problems. One of the biggest red flags for him is his injury prone. It is his thing to be injury prone already. He's already had an ankle injury that I believe made him miss most of the 2014 season for him, and then also had a knee injury that kept him out of the preseason for Sabona for this last year. Again, with bigs, that's always a red flag. You don't want knee and ankle injuries to be happening this early. That's a big cause for concern always. That's one thing that you always worry about for 7-footers. And if he can stay healthy for the remainder, I'd say for whatever workouts and everything he goes through before this draft, then he should probably be fine. That's the biggest key for him, is staying healthy. Honestly, if he can stay healthy throughout his first few years in the league, then I really wouldn't worry about that too much. Now, second weakness is his fundamentals, really on both ends of the floor. His offensive game could use a little bit of polishing. Honestly, it's outside of the paint, he could develop a mid-range jumper that could help. Mainly the fundamentals thing is on defense, though. He doesn't really have a problem with fouling, but again, rebounding numbers could be higher. I think positioning, boxing out, footwork could use a little bit of help, and just his overall positioning when it comes to blocking shots and being a rim protector. I think that's the biggest thing he needs help with. Again, it's with his size and strength and athleticism, it's something that can come along as his upside to be a rim protector. Again, I talked about his defensive upside as being one of his strengths. He can be a freak when it comes to rebounding and rim protection, and that's one of his biggest draws when it comes to teams drafting him. So it's something that you hope comes along. Fundamentals are something that eludes some international players for quite a while in the NBA, but also sometimes it comes along well. It's one thing that you kind of take a risk on when you draft an international player that hasn't had a whole lot of exposure over in the U.S. So his last weakness is face-up scoring, really offense outside of the paint. He has a big problem with turnovers. I believe when it comes to international play, he averages around, I think it's 3-4 turnovers per 40 minutes, compared to almost, I think it's like 0.5 assists per 40 minutes. So facilitating, I've mentioned this in a lot of my scouting reports, it's something that's big nowadays. In the NBA, it's something with so much rotation, so much outside shooting in the NBA nowadays, you'd like your bigs to be able to pass, how much you run in transition, and just overall fluid ball movement among every single player on your team. It's something that bigs develop normally after a while, but it's also something that when you watch Ivica Zubac's film, it's not something that's pretty. Like he has a lot of like almost humorous turnovers. His passing is very, very bad right now. Again, it needs to be improved, and that's one of the biggest problems for him on offense. Again, you hope the facilitating ability comes along, especially with a guy that you're expecting to pull down maybe 3-4 offensive rebounds per game. That's what he averaged last year with Sabona. Per 40 minutes. Again, that's a big number, but if you can't dish it out and you can't figure out what to do with it after, then it's pretty much useless having that ability. I hope that he's able to make this really develop a good, I'd say a well-rounded offensive game inside the three-point arc. If he is able to develop a mid-range jumper, that just opens up the world for him, since he is such a good post-up scorer already. And if he is able to add a facilitating ability to his game, then that makes him a solid first-round pick, really, for whatever team picks him up in the NBA draft. Not saying he's going to be a first-round pick, but if he's able to develop those, then he's definitely worthy of one. All right, so talk about, again, best fits, where I think he's going to go in the draft, and all that fun stuff. I don't think that the last NBA Draft.net mock draft actually had him going. I don't know if they have him registered as actually going into the 2016 NBA draft. I will check on that. But the last Draft Express mock draft, I know they had him in this last one, had him going at number 20 to the Indiana Pacers. Now, I'm not big on the Pacers needing another big like Ivica Zubac. I don't think that they need another player slowing that down if they're trying to run fast. Again, I don't really know what direction they're heading in, and I'm a huge Pacers fan, so that's how lost I am with them. But anyway, again, when you're talking about where I think he's going to go in this draft, I have no clue. I'd say you're looking at a player that can go anywhere from number 25 to the end of the second round. Now, again, the hype's there. I think this is a guy with tremendous upside. When you're talking about what he can be and what type of upside he is as a big, look at Joe Key, another player that I think can be a tremendous, probably 10-point scorer, 12 rebounds per game type player. When you're talking about comparisons, one that I kind of do like for Zubac when it comes to toughness and strength is Steven Adams. Again, they're different players, but when it comes to fluidity for being, tall centers, both of them are very similar. Steven Adams is kind of developing a post-up game. Again, he's more of a finisher down low than anything else. He's not going to be able to back you down too much. Again, not the strongest part of his game. But again, when you're talking about best fits for Zubac, I think you're going to have to look at teams that will be able to throw him into the fire early, but also not have him start. I don't think you're going to be able to rely on this guy to play heavy minutes his rookie year. I think he's going to have to come along, figure out the NBA game, be able to stay healthy for a couple of years before you even give him a start as a look, or maybe even like a 6th or 7th man. I think this is going to be like a 10th or 11th guy in the rotation coming into the NBA. But again, when you're talking about best fits, I think that you want to put him into a little bit more high tempo play. A few fits that I would like, or that I would like to see: one, the San Antonio Spurs draft and stash. Another one is the Los Angeles Clippers getting to play behind DeAndre Jordan. I think that'd be a good fit for him as well, a few years down the road. So again, I'd say you're probably looking around pick 40 for Zubac. I think he's going to be an early to mid second round pick if I could put my finger on it. Now let me check the NBA draft.net mock draft. Again, I don't think it has him going. See if they do have him. Nope. Let me see if they have him in the 2017. But anyway, again, when you're talking about averages, I think you're looking at a guy that's probably going to be averaging like 4 and 3 his rookie year. Again, I don't think he's going to get that many looks his rookie year in the league. Now, let's see if he's... Yeah, they have him going in the 2017 draft at number 14 to the Chicago Bulls. So again, this guy's upside is high. I'm not as high on him as I am maybe a Joe Key or a Thon Maker. But again, I think this is a guy that can be tremendously successful in the NBA. I'm not 100% sure if he's going to be falling into the 2016 NBA draft. I'm pretty sure he is. But again, it's something that we'll have to see. Now, that pretty much does it for this video. Again, a rather, I guess, intriguing prospect to talk about. And that pretty much concludes the 2016 NBA scouting reports. I will be coming back within the next few days with my last first round mock draft before I do my 2-round mock draft before the 2016 NBA draft comes along next month. So that's pretty much it. See ya. He is a 6'11", 255-pound center out of the University of Maryland. He's got a 7'3" wingspan. He's from Milwaukee. So, get into his strengths. So, first one is his size and his strength. So,